So I'm in central Wisconsin today, and I'm actually going to be ice fishing below a dam. There's actually a good 10-12 inches of ice on this little patch of ice where I'll be fishing. But I'm going to target some crappies, put a couple tip-ups out, and hopefully catch some fish. So I dragged my sled out there, get out there, and realized there's like holes just popped everywhere. So I didn't even need my auger, but started checking holes. I ended up starting out at this one. I was in like 21, 22 feet of water, and right away, I mean, I was marking like 4 or 5 fish. So I tossed down a jig and wrap, and missed like 2, 3 fish right away. All of a sudden, they kind of just shut off, and there was no fish there anymore. So started moving a little bit more. I ended up going a little shallower, and right now I'm in like 15 feet where I catch this first fish. This one I caught on a tungsten jig, medium-sized tungsten jig with a pink plastic on it. Once I hooked into this fish here, knew it was a little bit better, nicer of a fish, and this is a nice crappie here. Wasn't really planning on keeping anything today, so everything I caught I was just tossing back. Seems like some of these fish you just really had to work for them or jig for them just right, kind of like what I'm doing here. Other times they just come right up off the bottom and you didn't have to jig and they just smash it. So if you can't tell, I'm pretty confused right here. I go to set the hook, feel the fish, and then all of a sudden there's nothing there. I don't even feel my jig. So come to find out, I had something bite through my line. I'm guessing it was probably a walleye. So this was some pretty consistent, steady action, the whole time I was here. Not all the fish were huge, but there's, definitely quite a few nice ones and keepers, I would say. Here's one of those fish again where I really had to work for it, jig, 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 kind of pause, bring it up a little bit, do the same thing, and then all of a sudden just bam, it just hammered it. When you're doing catch and release like this, you don't get too heartbroken about losing a fish at the hole like this, but if I was keeping them, I definitely would have stuck my hand down and grabbed that fish. This is exactly why when you get them close to the surface here, you don't just pull them out with your line. You try to, grab the actual fish. Otherwise, you just end up losing them like I did there. Still getting some really good steady action here, and I don't even think I've switched my plastic yet. I have the same one on the whole time. So it seemed like towards the end here, the fish started getting a lot more finicky. They were biting a lot lighter. They kept missing fish, and it would have been really nice to have a spring bobber on. I think in that situation would have really helped. But I actually all my rods were set up for more for walleye because I thought I was going walleye fishing, but ended up changing my plans. Before I got there.
So wrapping things up for the night here. It was getting cold at the end. Just the wind picked up, and with this wet snow, it definitely wasn't helping things either. But caught some decent fish tonight, and I missed probably just as many as I caught. But and it was really interesting fishing below this dam here, just on a small chunk of ice with water flowing through. And I'm guessing this ice isn't gonna last long here, just because with this warm weather. And I know they open up the dam a little bit. But I was on a solid 6 to 8 inches, somewhere in that range. Seemed to be what was working the best was, some type of small to medium-sized tungsten jig with any type of pink plastic. I tried a few different things, and I tried a jig and wrap, a wax worm on jigs, and didn't seem to work quite as well as the tungsten with the plastic. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hit subscribe.